Hey there, it's Rachel Mullins, the host of Hashtag No Filter Fridays on Public House Media.
This is Sam Kirby, host of Cinema Stories here on Public House Media. Thank you for tuning into the following broadcast here on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Cinema Stories, where we talk about movie and TV news and reviews, and maybe, just maybe, we'll learn a little something about ourselves. If not, then maybe I made you laugh a couple of times. I don't know. New episodes air bi-weekly on Tuesdays. Thanks again for checking out the totally spectacular following broadcast here on Public House Media.
Throughout history, the course of sports has been shaped by one thing: the fans.
From the moments you never dreamed of,
USA's life in this World Cup. Paul, the runner, loose ball, it's good. Gonzaga, the slipper still fits.
To the moments that still give you nightmares.
Behind the bag, it gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it. He's in. Patriots win the Super Bowl. Brady has his fifth.
through the good and the bad, fans have helped change the games we watch and the players we love.
They may not be the most logical people.
You are a factory of sadness! I'll see you Sunday.
But they know their teams better than anybody.
They'll blow in the ninth.
You may not always see them, but you know where to find them.
After all, there's nothing quite like the view from the cheap seats.
Broadcasting as part of the Public House Media Network.
Grab a chair and enjoy all there is in
The cheap seats.
Hey, welcome to the Cheap Seats. I'm Baxter Colburn. That's Matt Coyne. Good morning to you, Matt. Happy Friday. How are we doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you? Well,
well,
I was doing good until, did you hear how much snow we're supposed to get this weekend?
I did, and then I laughed and realized I'm going to be in Mexico.
Oh,
Mexico.
12 to 18 inches. That's
yeah.
stupid.
And then somebody last night was like, I heard 1 to 2 feet. I'm like, now we're just throwing out numbers.
I did hear AccuWeather actually have a screenshot of 1 to 2 feet. I think they were just bored.
I think so. Let's just freak out northeast Wisconsin. Let's say 6 feet of snow.
I hear these people complaining around the United States. I'm like, shut it.
We know. Enough already.
But other than that, I'm doing fine.
Well, good.
How about you?
You know, I'm doing well. A couple days away from headed down to Mexico.
Yeah, I guess you have to be doing good.
Yeah, so, life is exciting. Really looking forward to it. We made the announcement official this week, too, that my wife is expecting baby number 2.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So we're really excited about that. Matt Coyne Colburn is going to have a really good name to it in honor of my favorite co-host. Don't tell the other co-hosts I've ever had.
I won't.
If I had to go through all my co-hosts for names, it would have to be a boy, because I've only had boy co-hosts aside from Jamie and Mackenzie, but still, those are kind of boy names as well, too, so it kind of works out.
Yeah.
So I would have like an 8 or 9. Anyway, that's a lot. Lot to deal with.
We could have a draft of the best names for baby Colburn.
I like it, both male and female.
I'm sure your wife will appreciate that.
Hey, we've had people write in names before. I think they should. If you have a suggestion, send the Cheap Seats on Facebook a name idea. I would love to hear that. I would love to hear people's ideas and opinions about what we should name baby Colburn.
I like that.
I'm all about it. All right, Matt, as we get ready for the show, I want to start the show, as we always do, with our quick headlines, but I want to play an audio clip that goes along with it as well, too. Okay, so this, to give you context, Roma knocked out Barcelona from the Champions League, which is a big deal because Barcelona has the likes of Lionel Messi and a lot of incredibly talented players, right, as we all know. But they were down in this game. They played 2 legs. They play on aggregate, if you're familiar with what aggregate is. So
I do not know.
It's a 2-leg series. Whoever scores the most goals in the 2 games wins, basically. Every team gets one home game. But it's weird, too, in the sense that you get away goals are somehow worth more. So if you draw, but you scored more away goals, if it's a 4-4 draw after the 2 games, but you scored more away goals than the other team did, you win.
Okay.
So keep that in the back of your mind. But this is the call from the Italian commentator when Roma officially knocked out Barcelona.
parte Under, eccolo il cross.
Manolas di testa, mamma mia! Mamma mia! Mamma mia! Mamma mia! Mamma mia!
So, there you go.
Was he excited?
He was just a little excited. I don't know if that was Mario and Luigi that were up in the booth for that game or who that was, but I think that's pretty cool, though.
That is. That's cool.
So, congratulations to Roma as they will move on to, I believe it's the semifinals now, after knocking off the big giant that was Barcelona in the Champions League. Other quick headlines. Have you ever done something stupid at an airport, Matt?
No, not at an airport.
Not at an airport.
I'm
done other stupid things, just not at airports.
Yeah, I'm pretty careful there.
Well, take a page out of Trevor Davis's book, The Green Bay Packers Wide Receiver, and this is what not to do. So he was on his way to Hawaii with his girlfriend. It was really weird how they were wording this. They're like his partner.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it was his girlfriend. I don't know. Anyway, we can't say those other words on the air. So we're assuming that it was his girlfriend. And they were getting ready to go to Hawaii, and TSA does their normal security checks, like, hey, do you have any of this, non-perishable this, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And, of course, they always ask, do you have any explosives, which is interesting because, I don't know, too many honest people to be like,
yeah,
man,
got me.
You got me. Yeah. Never mind. Sorry, guys, I won't blow up the plane today. But Trevor Davis, in all his infinite wisdom, turned to his partner and said, hey, did you remember to pack the explosives? Said it in a joking manner, and his partner basically dropped, in a sense, because she was like, what? No, like, what are you doing, basically? And as you can assume...
Can't say bomb on an airplane.
Can't say bomb on an airplane. Can't say bomb in a TSA check line, apparently, either. And just like that, he was arrested and then was finally let go on $15,000 on bail. I have not heard if the Packers have done anything about this. But come on, Trevor Davis. Don't be an idiot.
You know, I feel like, I'll be honest, I would never do this. But I get that. Like, you're in a good mood. You just want to joke. The TSA agent maybe was, like, in a good mood.
Yeah, of course.
But you just don't do that.
That's like, isn't that like the biggest party foul? Like, everyone's having a good time.
Yeah.
Like, we're having, and someone makes that joke. And then everyone's like, oh.
I just think, I mean, in today's world, you just can't, like you said, you just can't do that.
You can't say that. You just...
poor guy.
Boy. So he got shipped off to jail. Do you cut him if you're the Packers?
I don't.
No?
I mean, I don't know.
It's not like he's going to be starting anytime
soon. I was
soon.
going to say, one, I don't think he's going to be starting, and two, this was just him just, hey, Trevor, don't say that. Now, if he actually did it, yeah, then
sure.
There's another conversation.
Right, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, next quick headline is when we all finally achieve a dream in our life, we can kind of all be excited, right? And this was the case for Los Angeles Lakers' Andre Ingram from the Lakers the other day. He has spent the last 10 seasons in the G League.
Yeah. And
he got the opportunity to play in his first ever NBA official sanctioned game, and he scored 19 points.
Yeah. He. I was reading the story, and he said, obviously this is a dream for somebody like him to play in the NBA. What a cool story. You always see these type of things towards the end of the year, too, because, you know, teams are either out of it or they've already clinched. So it's, you know, they let these players... I feel bad saying these type of players, but these players that wouldn't have really got a shot any other way.
Right, exactly. So. And I think that's the cool part about it is that this was an opportunity for him to do this. And boy, oh boy, what an opportunity. Andre Ingram said, I just felt some electricity out there. It was amazing. The crowd, the lights. It was once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, that's good for him. Congratulations.
So we'll
Andre
see
Ingram.
Maybe if he'll spend some more time with the team next season. Nobody obviously really knows. At this point, obviously, though, things are pretty much said and done with the Lakers season as the NBA regular season came to a close here just a few short days ago. Other quick headlines. People have been talking about her left and right. Sister Jean.
Yes.
After Loyola Chicago bowed out in the Final Four, she got her opportunity in the spotlight once again. Didn't she, Matt?
Yeah, first pitch at the Cubs opener against The Pirates.
Shocker. There's your. If you're playing the Pirates drinking game at home, everyone take a shot.
Pittsburgh, anything, and then the Pirates, unfortunately for them, spoiled their opener. But yeah, Sister Jean got to throw out the ceremonial first pitch. I was thinking about this the other day. They had somebody else lined up. There's no way this just happened not too long ago. So I'm pretty sure they would have had somebody lined up, which makes me think they had to tell that person, hey, you're not important enough, so Sister Jean's going to come in and do this.
Yeah,
which I agree with. That's awesome. She looks so happy here, and she had a nice little underhand throw, it looks like.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
She's already been signed by the Brewers.
Yeah.
Doubtful. No, I have no idea if that's actually the case. But either way, good for Sister Jean.
Yeah.
Get that opportunity.
Her and the coach, what's his name? Porter
Davis?
Moser. Here it is.
Porter Moser?
Yeah, he got to go out there too, which is cool.
Cool. Good for him.
Yeah.
And finally, somehow we managed to work 2 soccer stories in this week.
How did we do that?
I know a guy. Carly Lloyd for the U.S. women's national team hit 100 international goals. Wow. That's pretty incredible in my opinion. 100 international goals. She scored 36 between the ages of 23 and 30 and 64 between the ages of 30 and 35. Yeah. She was the first woman in a World Cup final to score a hat-trick. She has the fastest hat-trick scored in World Cup history in 16 minutes.
Wow.
She's a 2-time FIFA Women's Player of the Year, and she has had 8 goals in the Olympics and 7 in the World Cup.
So, Baxter, tell me this. In soccer,
yes,
is that like 30 to 35? Is that normally when they peak, or is that impressive?
No. That's impressive that she did all of that. With any sport, once you get over 30, really.
Yeah. Well, and I know... Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, when you get over that 30 mark, you're not really considered as dangerous and as good. And she kind of fell off a little bit for a little while and then had this revival. And really, during the World Cup, too, she kind of silenced a lot of doubters again, which was great.
Yeah. Yeah, I know in some, there's some positions that obviously... Why 30? But... it makes you feel old when you see that. But
what have you done with your life from 30 to 35?
Yeah, nothing. No, I've done a lot.
You've done a lot.
Not like this, but
you're not ever going to be etched in the echelons of time in sports. But maybe you will with this podcast.
No, well, maybe.
All right, those are your quick headlines. When we come back, Matt has devised an NFL draft, but not that kind of NFL draft. I'm curious about this. I'm excited to see what this is. Matt, once again, has drummed up a draft. We'll see what it's like. Best quarterbacks?
Best quarterbacks.
We'll be back.
Well, kind of.
Kind of. All right, back on the cheap seats after this. Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Emily.
This is Lindsay.
And this is Elizabeth, co-hosts of Beauties and Headcanons here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Once you are done with this episode, we hope you'll come check out our show, Beauties and Headcanons, where we talk nerdy to you about fandoms, fan fiction, and all pop culture for nerds that you can think of. A new show comes out every Friday.
Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Beauties and Headcanons. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Welcome back to the Cheap Seats on Public House Media. I'm Baxter Colburn. That's Matt Coyne. Matt Coyne, you, sir, are a wonderful person, first of all.
Hey, thank you.
You're welcome.
You are too.
Second of all, we are going to do a draft again.
Yes.
We did a draft last week about the 10 most prestigious awards in sports that you can win from a single person's perspective.
Yes.
And I thought that went over pretty well. I thought there was good response about it. I thought people really enjoyed what we did, for the most part.
Yeah, I thought it was fun.
So
yeah, I enjoyed doing that.
This week, what are we doing?
So, we just had so much fun doing it. I figured let's keep doing it.
Yeah.
So, NFL quarterbacks, I put them, all the starters. Well, I missed some starters because we don't really know who's starting for some teams yet.
Sure.
So I put who we knew starters were, and I randomized them, and then I just picked the first 10 that came up on this list. And then what I did was took the 5 top rookies coming out of the draft. So what we are going to do is we will each draft a 5 team.
A 5, 6, 7, 8. No.
Wait. What?
What?
No, well, 6.
All right.
What? Wait.
What?
I'm confused. You got me confused.
I'm not trying to
Beckham.
confuse Beckham. What?
I said. Well,
you thought you said Beckham.
No, I said Beckham.
Pretty sure you said Beckham.
No, maybe I did.
Did you say Beckham?
No, I think I said Baxter.
Make up your mind, man. What'd you say?
Anyways, so we will draft 5 players each, and then we will have a 6th person.
Perfect.
Just like in basketball, the 6th man.
I'm all about it.
So I went first last week.
Okay.
So I feel like it's only fair.
Perfect.
For you to go
well,
first.
I appreciate that. So are we going to tell the people who the 10 are here that this was used? So you came up with just 10 quarterbacks from the NFL. You took all 32 and you randomized them? Is this how this came out?
Yeah, so it's not necessarily I don't want people to be like, why is Jameis Winston on this?
Spoilers? Jeez.
Well, I thought we were going through it.
Spoiling. Goodness. All right. So here's the 10 quarterbacks that we get to choose from. Marcus Mariota, Tom Brady, Cam Newton, Phillip Rivers, Andrew Luck, Kirk Cousins, Big Ben. How ironic. Jameis Winston, Matt Stafford, and Matthew Ryan. Notice how Aaron Rodgers randomly didn't get on the board.
Well, he was, but I replaced him. I'll give you a clue who I replaced him with.
I can only imagine.
I'm kidding. No, this was the 10 that came up.
Sure. All right, so I have to pick one to start here. So I get to go first. I'm going to pick Tom Brady, of course.
Well, I mean,
naturally, you take Tom Brady. If you're picking a quarterback team,
yeah,
TB and I are going to roll together.
Now, we need to, before I make my first pick, we need to decide here. Is this fantasy or sheer?
I don't know. How do we want to do this?
Because
I thought this was just like sheer. We're just picking.
Okay.
We're picking 5 guys to just get out there and whip the ball around.
Yeah. Well, in that case, I have to take Big Ben.
There we go.
Now, if this was fantasy, I probably would have taken Phillip Rivers.
I still think Phillip's a better QB than Big Ben is. So I mean,
what?
In my humble opinion, I think Phillip is better with his 27 kids. Is better personally.
Are you taking him then?
I'm not taking him. No, I am going to take. Just kidding. I am Phillip Rivers. Come on down. I'm definitely not an AFC guy, and here I already have done.
Yeah.
He's drafted 2 AFC quarterbacks.
All right.
That's also because the NFC quarterbacks on this list are somewhat trashy.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to take Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan. So not only do you draft a Pittsburgh player, but now you draft someone with your name.
We have to have a connection. You know who I'm going to take next.
I have an idea. All right, so I've taken Tom Brady and Phillip Rivers. I am now going to draft Matthew Stafford.
That's who I wanted, so I can have Matt.
I'm sorry. You
can't
have all the Matt fun.
That's all part of it.
Can't have all the Matt fun.
So we're down to Marcus Mariota, Cam Newton, Andrew Luck, Kirk Cousins, Jameis Winston.
Yep.
I'm going to have to go Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins. Not a bad player. He'll get you there. For me, when he's healthy, Andrew Luck. So that's who I'm going to take. And I also just love the Andrew Luck memes as well.
Yeah,
too.
those are. Yeah.
So, personally.
All right, so we are down to Mariota, Newton, and Winston.
Yeah, take your pick. Take your pick on that one.
Well, I have a feeling I'm going to get stuck with Jameis Winston. So
how are you going to get stuck with Jameis Winston?
Because I think the other 2 are better.
Okay, we'll take who you need to take.
I'm going to take Mariota.
Marcus Mariota. So who's left?
Newton and Winston.
Yeah, you're going to get stuck with Jameis Winston. Well, Cam Newton, come on down.
That's
son.
what I tried to say. Look at that. You took 4 in a row there.
What? What did I take 4 in a row? Oh, I did. I took 1 through 4.
I guess I took 4. Wait.
I know. I took 1 through 5. No, I didn't take Mariota.
Wait. Why do I have 6?
What?
What did I do? You took Matthew Stafford. I put my name next to it.
See, he just wanted Matthew Stafford, so you're just...
All right, so 6-man. I put here Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, and Lamar Jackson.
So we each get to pick one guy.
Yes.
Can I say none? Can I take Johnny Manziel from the Spring League? Is that an option?
Yes,
no.
I will let you do that.
Gosh, I don't know. I'll take Josh Allen. Is that who you wanted?
Yes.
Oh!
Dang
Pulling
it.
out the drama this morning. I'm sorry.
It's all
I'm
right.
sorry.
That's just a Wyoming guy, you know.
Oh,
It's hard.
shoot. I'm sorry.
Never mind.
Stabbing you in the heart this
Yeah,
morning.
that's
I'm
all right.
so sorry.
All right, let's see who. Baker Mayfield keeps moving up, but I still don't like him.
Nobody does. He's overhyped. Don't fall for the Baker Mayfield trap.
I'm going to say Josh Rosen, so we'll take the Joshes.
You're taking the Joshes?
I put my name next to Josh Allen again.
Would you stop?
I have the power.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So, who do you have? Who do you
I
finish
have
with?
Marcus Mariota, Cousins, Winston, I missed one, Ben, Matt Ryan, and Josh Rosen.
There you go. And I got Brady, Cam, Phillip, Andrew Luck, Stafford, and Josh Allen. I feel like that's not a terrible slot of 6 quarterbacks.
No, that's...
Who has the better team?
It's hard with this. Well, I purposely did just not the top because obviously Rodgers isn't on there.
Sure.
Which is top 3 and Breeze isn't on there. So
right, of course.
But I figured everyone always does the top 10.
It's true.
Dude,
so cliche.
I think they're... I don't know. I mean, I'm biased, obviously, and
Slightly.
you're biased, so...
What are you going to do?
We'll have the tiebreaker.
We will. We'll have to let the people decide, so make sure to vote on the Cheap Seats Facebook page, and make sure to vote on any other way. We'll post it on our personal channels as well, too, I'm sure. So a lot of ways for you to be able to check out what we got going on. We are going to take another break. When we come back, Christian Heimel is going to be here. Not only is he the fantastic host of the Monday show, but he also is just a swell guy that people need to know more about. So he's going to be here to talk about the NBA playoffs, maybe a little bit about the NHL as well, too. When we come back, he's the host of the Cheap Seats on Monday. That's Matt. I'm Baxter. Back with more right after this.
This is Danny Domer, host of podcast The Star Wars Story, here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Podcast The Star Wars Story, where we talk about Star Wars and everything there is to know about Star Wars. A new show comes out every other week, also known as bi-monthly for you calendar folk. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Podcast, The Star Wars Story. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Welcome back up in the cheap seats on Public House Media. I'm Baxter Colburn alongside Matt Coyne. Great to have you on this Friday edition of the show. I can smell the Mexican sunrise. Is that a thing? I don't know. I'm very close.
Whatever.
I'm going to Mexico this week, this coming week, so I'm very excited. I will be back, though, to do the show on Friday, so don't think that you're just getting off with like not having a week of doing the show, Matt, next Friday. So
I was going to go off on...
I thought you were just going to do the show yourself.
I was just going to go off on a huge tangent for 45 minutes.
That would be, yeah. Listen, let me tell you about the state of Pittsburgh sports. And we've been canceled as a show. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't understand why.
Yeah, no, I'm sure there's a market out there for it, of course.
In Pittsburgh.
Of course. Hey, you're a legend in Pittsburgh, right? Some people are legends in China. You can be a legend in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing. All right, we are excited because we are able to bring on guests from time to time, and by time to time we mean every week, because we love technology, right? It's a beautiful, beautiful, incredible, amazing thing. And we have the opportunity to bring on not only a distinguished man of much culture, but a man that is also one of the hosts here on the Cheap Seats as well. It is Christian Heimel on Mondays with John Lauder, and now he's on the program here on Fridays with us. Good morning to you, Christian.
Good morning, guys. Baxter, where in Mexico are you going?
I am going to Riviera Maya.
As you know, I was actually just there a month ago.
Indeed, you were, sir.
It was a lot of fun. Enjoy yourself. Check out Playa del Carmen if you can.
Ooh, I will have to see if that's in the schedule. We're going. My wife's company is helping us to go, so we're going to go kind of what they are doing for us. So we'll see. We'll see if there happens to be if there's a chance.
All right.
So the NBA playoffs are officially getting underway very shortly. But I just want to go on the record and say Bucks in 6, even though it's not going to happen. So it's just it's the joke among Bucks fans that we always just say Bucks in 6. So just gotta holler that out there. But yeah, the playoffs are set. The Western Conference, you've got Houston versus Minnesota, OKC versus the Jazz, Portland versus the Pelicans, and Golden State versus San Antonio. Eastern side, Toronto, Washington, Cleveland, Indiana, Philly, and Miami, and then Boston and Milwaukee. Christian, let's start over in the western side really fast. Give us your thoughts. Minnesota barely squeaking it in just a couple of nights ago, but they did it. And now they have an opportunity to take down the Rockets, which I don't know. It sounds a little leery. If there was I feel like if it was maybe any other team, they might have had a chance.
Yeah, listen, first off, how awesome was it for the NBA to go down to the last game of the regular season with a do-or-die, winner gets in, loser misses the playoffs between the Timberwolves and the Nuggets, and then to have that game go to overtime.
It
was perfect for the NBA. I was talking with Jared Greenberg on Press Row of NBA TV and TNT. We were talking, and the NBA is a sports fan soap opera. There's just so much drama that happens, whether it's on the court or off the court, and we got it on the court on Wednesday night. So the Timberwolves, they're a great story. Listen, I don't think many people thought much of them this year, especially when you consider the fact that they haven't been great in recent years, but they got Jimmy Butler in the trade with Chicago earlier in the year. Derrick Rose ends up signing with them halfway through the year. They've had talent in guys like Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins, but they haven't really had that point guard to really help them out. And getting Jimmy Butler as a shooter was definitely helpful. Having him come back will be interesting in the playoffs, but let's be honest. This is the Houston Rockets. This is James Harden and a near triple-double performance. This is Chris Paul, who has found the fountain of youth in Houston. Clint Capella, who is one of the better, most underappreciated defenders in the league. And Mike D'Antoni, who is a true visionary, and a lot of people will rip on him for his time with the New York Knicks. But remember what he turned Phoenix into with Amari Stoudemire and Steve Nash. And he's doing that in Houston. So as great as stories the Timberwolves are, this is going to be a rout for Houston. I'm going to say Minnesota gets one game, but it's a squeaker, and Houston wins in 5.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well, too. I mean, that just kind of seems like the most logical setup for that Houston-Minnesota game. We don't have to get as in-depth with some of these other games. Portland and the Pelicans, I feel like that's kind of a toss-up series, but I feel like the Blazers are ultimately going to sneak out with that. Am I wrong in thinking that?
No, you're not. I mean, guys like Aldridge and and the rest of that crew up there in Portland, they're just – the Pelicans are, again, if you had Boogie Cousins still there, if DeMarcus Cousins was still healthy, maybe. But, Damian Lillard and everybody in Portland is just a little bit better. And as much as I love Anthony Davis, and I think he is it's hard to call somebody undervalued when they're putting up 50 points a game and like 30 rebounds. Like,
but he's never in the MVP conversation, I feel like, and that's funny.
And that's because he usually kind of has a streak of about 2 weeks where he's this great, and then he's not anymore. He's not as great, I should say. But when I look at this Trailblazers team, I look at CJ McCollum, I look at Damian Lillard. and I look at Evan Turner, and I just sit there and go, those are three guys who all from the outside can do damage to you, and all New Orleans has is Anthony Davis. So now Portland doesn't have someone who can stop Anthony Davis, but New Orleans doesn't have anybody who can stop those three. So it looks like this will probably go 6 or 7 games, but it'll ultimately be Portland.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well.
Yeah, Christian, with Warriors and Spurs lining up in the first round, do you see? I mean, Spurs always come to play in the playoffs. Do you see this being a possible shocker here against the Warriors, or do you think Warriors are going to take care of them pretty easy?
Here's why I would not be at all surprised to see San Antonio win this series. Steph Curry is not healthy. If Steph Curry was 100%, this would be a sweep because San Antonio is not as talented as they have been. Listen, again, no Kawhi Leonard. LaMarcus Aldridge has finally figured it out after 2 years in San Antonio, which is great. But other than that, I mean, Tony Parker hasn't really played at all this year. Rudy Gay, Pau Gasol, they haven't been that impressive down low. And when you have Kevin Durant and, Draymond Green and Klay Thompson and everybody else, the only reason I give the Spurs even a little bit of credit here and why I think this series goes 6 games is because they have Greg Popovich.
Yeah.
And Greg Popovich is to, Greg Popovich is to Phil Jackson what Bill Belichick is to Vince Lombardi. I mean, that's how talented he is as a coach. So I think this series goes a little bit longer than expected, but don't be surprised if Golden State goes out there, sweeps them, or at least wins a couple of games by 20 points.
I would agree with that as well, too. I want to flip over to the Eastern Conference quick because I'm curious to get your opinions if Indiana has a real option of upsetting Cleveland because they've played some pretty good basketball, and Cleveland has looked a little spotty. I know it's the LeBron factor, and I know that's the only reason anybody ever picks a team like Cleveland to win as a 4 seed or just at any seed. They could be the 8th seed and would still be favored to make the finals as long as LeBron is even within an eighth of the same talent he's been performing at. But is Indiana in a position to really, truly win this series?
They are because Cleveland hasn't really been that great this year. They haven't been the dominant team. But again, similar to Golden State, Cleveland has earned the benefit of the doubt for us to say, well, when the playoffs come, they'll turn it around.
Right.
As you look at both of these teams, you look at the way they ended their regular season, Cleveland and Indiana each won 7 of their last 10 games. And you look at some of the games that Indiana won, blowing out, they beat the Warriors by 20. But other than that, they beat the Warriors twice, I should say, in those 10 games, once on the road and once at home. But again, that's without Steph Curry. And here's what I've been really impressed with Cleveland over recent weeks is not necessarily LeBron, it's Kevin Love. Kevin Love has been playing a lot better over the last few weeks. And I know that Cleveland has had some really bad games, losing to the Knicks on the regular season finale, which, not many of their stars played because they knew what was going to end up happening here. But I look at this Cleveland team, and as much as I want to pick against them just because I don't think they're going to be that good,
right,
the best player in the world is still on that team, and it's not even close. So until someone steps up and shows me that they can beat LeBron, I don't believe that Indiana – maybe it goes 5, maybe 6 games, but this is ultimately Cleveland's series. Because once you turn it on, you got the best player in the world, and you got to try to good luck against LeBron James.
Christian, along those lines, do you think there's a team in the East that can take? I mean, I know Sixers won like 57 games to end the season, which was actually 16, but that's a lot. Do you think there's any? Do you think there's any team in the East that can take them down? That can give them a run for their money?
It's so difficult. We all have questions about everybody. And listen, if Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving were healthy, if Kyrie Irving was healthy, we'll even eliminate Gordon Hayward because he played 5 minutes of the season.
Yep.
But if Kyrie Irving was healthy, I'd say the Celtics had a good chance because of his ball handling ability. That being said, the second round matchup between the Sixers and the Cavaliers very well could be the Eastern Conference Finals because they are both that talented. They all have those supporting casts that you absolutely need, which is really, really important. When you look at Philadelphia and the fact that they won 16 games to end the season, the fact that, Ben Simmons has been playing like Magic Johnson all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Over the last 3 weeks. You've got Dario Saric, who, nobody knew of him until that crazy, gif of him doing a really goofy fist pump into the air. Joel Embiid, if he's healthy, what's Markelle Fultz going to do? It's really interesting because this Philadelphia team is young. This is the process. This is what Sam Hinkie thought about years ago and is now finally getting to watch from the sidelines and not actually see it happen for real. But you never underestimate the grit and the desire of young players, people who don't know any better than what they're going up against. And the Sixers are that team. The Celtics are somewhat that team too, with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum now because of everybody's injury. But I still, it comes down to LeBron James. I mean, I know this might be the worst supporting staff he's had in his career, since really the finals in 2000 and his first finals when they got swept by the Spurs and Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
But if Kevin Love can play well, then who knows? I mean, that's really is the biggest thing with this Cavaliers team. It's the LeBron James factor. And I will always, till he retires, I will pick LeBron James over anybody right now. So as much as it pains me to say it, I do believe that, Cleveland is still the favorite in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well, too. Before we let you run, Christian, we've got to, of course, get your prediction for who you think is going to at least meet in the finals. If you've got a full series prediction as well, too, and a champion, fantastic. But we want to give you that opportunity to at least tell it and go on the record here, at least on the cheap seats.
Well, it's interesting because, again, like we've talked about, it's a lot of it is the Steph Curry factor, in my opinion. If he's healthy and back in time to face Houston in Eastern Conference Finals, I give Golden State the edge there. If not, then to me, as it stands right now, if you were to tell me Steph Curry is not playing in these playoffs, Houston and Cleveland in the finals, and I think Houston wins that in 6. If Steph Curry is there, it's probably Warriors Cavaliers for a 4th straight year. And I know we haven't talked about Toronto at all, but there are just parts about Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan that when it comes playoff time, they kind of crumble a little bit.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why I haven't gone anywhere near the Raptors. But Cleveland comes out of the East, and then it's all about Steph Curry's ankle in the West. But I do firmly believe it's Rockets over Cavaliers in 6 in the finals.
There you go. You heard it here on the Cheap Seats. You can find him on Twitter at Chris Heimel, Christian Heimel, the host of the Cheap Seats and Press Row on Public House Media on Mondays and on Thursdays for when Press Row comes out. Christian, always a pleasure, sir. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.
Yep.
All right, we're going to run to a break. When we come back, we've got a little, playoff hockey to talk about? Little playoff hockey.
You always go Boston with the hockey.
I do. I respect
hockey.
that. I try. All right, we'll be back right more after this with English words on the Cheap Seats.
What's up, everybody? This is Christian Heimel, host of Press Row here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Press Row, where we talk about the biggest issues in sports with the analysts, experts, and reporters who cover them. No nonsense, hard-hitting interviews on the sports topics you're talking about. A new show comes out every single Thursday. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Press Row. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Getting in the mood for my Mexico trip. Can you tell I'm excited, Matt?
Nope.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Not even a little bit?
I'm going to send you snow in the mail.
You probably will. I bet it'll probably melt and be a nice, cool, refreshing ice water when it gets to me, because I'll be sweating on the beach.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, all right, it's the Cheap Seats. That's Matt Coyne. I'm Baxter Colburn. Special thanks to all of you, the listeners, for continuing to tune in and making sure that what we do is a lot of fun as well, too. If you want to interact with the show, feel free to send us a message on our Facebook page, The Cheap Seats. You can also find us on Twitter as well, too, at Baxter Colburn, at Coin Toss, COYNE, Coin Toss 1 for the cheeky and clever Mr. Matt Coyne across the table from me. All right, Peter Griffin.
Do you know what the family album for my family is called?
I can only imagine.
The Coin Collection.
Oh my god. Boo! What are your fantasy football team names? Do you have any cheekiness?
Coin toss.
Coin toss. Yeah. That makes. I mean, why? If it's not broke, why fix it?
Yeah.
You know, fair enough.
I gotta play that.
Yeah, I like it. All right, yeah, embrace what you got. All right, so here we go. We are looking at the NHL playoffs briefly here before we finish up the show. Let's look at the East fast because that makes more sense to you. Obviously, you're the big hockey guy. I like the feel. I want to make an argument though that I don't think that the playoffs in hockey are the most what do they call it? The most prestigious or the most popular playoffs?
Well, here's the funny thing.
I've been hearing this getting tossed around a lot.
I feel like the Stanley Cup, the actual who wins it, that is probably the most. I don't know if prestigious is the right word, but it's
not because
the most,
Super Bowl still owns everything.
But I think it's the most. I can't think of the word, but like when you see the Stanley Cup, you know, and I understand with the Lombardi, the Commissioner's Cup, and baseball, nobody knows it's called that. I don't even know what it's called in basketball, but the Stanley Cup, I agree. I don't think it's necessarily the most prestigious, but I think. I don't know, but I feel like anybody, hockey fan or not, if you know nothing about hockey and you see a picture of that Stanley Cup, you know what it is.
Right.
And I think the award itself is probably the most, like I said, it's not really prestigious. I don't know what the word would be, but...
Respectable?
Yeah.
There you go.
I would say that.
Yeah. Well, playoff hockey started a couple nights ago, especially with Pittsburgh, as they got the party started real good, beating down the Philadelphia Flyers 7-0.
Baxter, that makes me just...
When you score a touchdown against your in-state rival, it's got to give you a good feeling.
So first, to see the Flyers back in the playoffs against the Pens is just awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, people always ask me, what do you Philadelphia, you don't... This is really the Flyers are the only team that Pittsburgh has a rival with because, I mean, in football they never play him, and in baseball they play him normally a series a year or something like that.
Yeah.
But this is a huge rival going back about 10 years ago when the Flyers and Penguins were in that series just destroying each other. Finals of scores were like 7-4, 8-5. I mean. Just these ridiculous high-scoring games, and that wasn't the Penguins' type of play then. And now, obviously, these are two different teams. But, yeah, the other night, 7-0. Evgeny Malkin going coast-to-coast pretty much with a backhand by himself. He goes, I don't need the other four. And then Sidney Crosby scoring a hat trick. So I picked at the beginning of this, I picked them in 4, maybe 5. With it being, this isn't the Flyers of old, so I don't see this. I see the Pens coming out of there. Brand new team. It's so amazing that the Golden Knights are in the number 1 seed. I mean, has that ever happened, a brand new expansion team?
I don't think it ever has. I think it's pretty remarkable, honestly, and I think that they should be commended for that. Because, what they are doing in this situation is kind of unheard of.
And they didn't even sneak in. I mean,
they were like, no, we got this.
Yeah, so...
Watch out.
Yeah, in the East, we got, Pens opening up last night against Philadelphia. And then... Sorry, I just lost my whole entire... There we go. We got the Caps and... Columbus, then we got Boston. How do you say? I can't.
Boston.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And Toronto, and then we got Tampa Bay and New Jersey. So in the East, I'm trying not to be a homer, but I think here's the crazy thing: Pens win. If they win here, they will play the Capitals for like the 17th year in a row.
Are you're not giving the Blue Jackets a chance?
Oh no, I think they do have a chance. I think they had a great season, and I think the Capitals. Unfortunately, I'm not a big person into history, every year, but the Capitals just something happens to them in the playoffs every year. They're the number 1 seed.
True, Max Walpoff always has something to say about it. So
yeah, so We'll have to have both of us on the same show at one point if it's Caps and Pens.
I would support that and be willing to make that happen.
Yeah, but and then in the West we got, the Predators on 1 seed against Colorado. We got Winnipeg versus Minnesota. Then we got Knights against Golden Knights against Kings. How cool is that? Kings versus Knights. And then we got the Ducks versus the Sharks. So
Quack.
Anaheim is actually my pick to come out of the West. I think they got a complete team. I think that they're the Golden Knights. There's nothing. I don't have anything against them. I mean, they have an amazing goalie,
right?
In Marc-Andre Fleury,
of course.
And of course, I'm going to throw that out there
because what did he used to do?
He just used to be the goalie for the Pens for years.
Oh, gotcha. Sure.
Well, and it's funny. People in Pittsburgh, outside of the Pittsburgh market, people think, Big Ben or
Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah, it's Marc-Andre Fleury. I mean, people on Facebook, my Facebook was blowing up about Marc-Andre Fleury and his shutout from people from Pittsburgh.
He's a good player.
Yeah, and he's an amazing guy. Like, he's really done her. So anyways, that's my pick. I know I went off on a tangent. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
But
no, I'm glad you got that opportunity. Like I said, I mean, when it comes to playoff hockey, I think it's exciting. I think it brings out a lot of really raw emotion from people as well too. Nashville kind of stole the playoffs last year in terms of all the support and people not really giving them too much of a chance, and then they kind of won over everyone. So watch for the Preds, who was a 1 seed this year, again to be a big time team. Vegas is a cool story too, like you said.
Yeah, Predators were so annoying last year. Their fans. Oh my gosh. You get these fan bases that have never been in that situation, and then they get into it, and it was just pretty funny seeing some of the...
It's hard to say act like you've been there before when they really haven't.
Yeah, because I can't even say act like you've been there, but it's hard because some of the memes that were coming out about the Pens and stuff like that, I'm just like, just settle down.
Everybody have a moment, take a seat. You're not you when you're hungry, man.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. Have a Snickers.
Who am I? Yeah.
I have no idea. Well, we've got one more segment left on the show where we do our bold predictions. And our poll question we've already kind of talked about is who you think has the better quarterback team. Is it myself or is it Matt? We'll make sure to give you our bold predictions and give us our final thoughts as well, too, as we wrap things up here in the Cheap Seats on Public House Media.
No Filter Friday here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my new show, No Filter Friday, where we talk about all of the sexual misconduct allegations swirling around Hollywood. A new show drops every Friday at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of No Filter Friday. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Welcome back inside the studio here for the Cheap Seats presented by Public House Media. I'm Baxter Colburn. That's Matt Coyne. As we get ready to wrap up the show, a quick reminder for you to check out some of the other great shows that Public House Media has in their lineup. We have shows like Beauties and Headcanons for all you nerds out there. We've got Hollywood Happy Place if you love interviews with high-profile celebrities. Coffee with Keith and Katie is a big one for many folks as well, too. They do that show live Mondays and Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Awesome couple there. Plus, you got Press Row and many others as well, too, like we mentioned. So there's a little bit of everything for everyone. Just head over to thephmedia.com to find out the program schedule and more about each show. There's also the Public House Media store. There is Cheap Seats apparel. It's a great day.
I can't decide what I want. What
are you going to get? Yeah,
I keep going back and forth. I like the coffee mug, but
that's true. It's
I also like the beanie or whatever you want to
say.
Call
The beanie. I like the hat.
Yeah,
I mean, there's an iPhone and Samsung cases. The T-shirts obviously are great as well too. If you want to get something for your lovey in your life, there's women's T-shirts and tank tops as well too. It's the black and white version of the logo, so it's not like with the seats in the background, which I think is kind of cool though.
Yeah,
it's a little bit simpler, but I think it still is unique enough because you know who it is.
Yeah, Yeah.
So check it out.
Yeah, I always have trouble getting a hat because I have such a big head.
It's true. All that knowledge, all them brains.
I wish that's what it was.
Yeah, so check out the Public House Media store. You can go to thephmedia.com, look for the tab that says store. It'll direct you there, and then just check out the cheap seats on the left-hand side of the page, so that way you can help support the program and support all that we do here at Public House Media as well. So it's a big thanks to everyone that continues to do so. All right, Matt, bold predictions time before we go.
Yeah, so I'm going to stay in the hockey world.
Shocker.
I'm going to stay in the Pittsburgh world.
Shocker.
I'm going to say, well, I already said the Pens are going to sweep, so that's not crazy bold.
No.
But the second part of it, I got a two-parter here.
Oh.
Not only will they
Is
sweep.
this allowed? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's allowed.
I said it's allowed.
Okay, that's good. So they will score at least 4 goals in each win.
Wow.
That's my prediction.
That's pretty hot and heavy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll probably lose it tomorrow night.
Probably.
No. Sunday night.
Sunday night. All right. My prediction is that I predict that the Milwaukee Bucks will not win a game against the Boston Celtics. I think they will get swept in 4, and I think they will lose every game by 10 or more points.
That's sad to hear that.
It's the reality, because they're terrible at closing out the season. They laid an egg numerous times, and they just still have a long way to go.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll go out and trade and get the brow. Giannis just needs to we need to clone Giannis like 25 times. Is what it comes down to. Oh, well. All right. Our poll question, as we mentioned, will be up on the Facebook page as well, too. So make sure to check that out. Vote for who you thought had the better team. Was it Matt? Was it me? For our quarterbacks from the NFL, our 6-man quarterback teams. Vote and let us know your thoughts by heading over to The Cheap Seats by Public House Media on Facebook. Best way to get a hold of us, send us a message, comment on our posts. We love hearing from you. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. It comes out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, and numerous other platforms, but mostly Apple Podcasts. And we'd love to have you write us a review if you're so inclined. So we appreciate you and all those that have done that already. A special thanks to Christian Heimel for stopping by the program today. And, of course, to you, Matt Coyne, for your continued dedication to the program as well.
You're welcome. Same to you. And have a good trip.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm excited. Looking forward to it. Got my sunscreen, my passport. Ole, ole. Here we go.
Have fun.
Thank you. I will.
You deserve it.
I will.
Have some rest.
Enjoy the snow. Don't have too much fun.
I will.
While I'm gone. And we'll see you guys next Friday in the cheap seats on Public House Media. Have a fantastic weekend.